Hey guys, welcome. Today is a little bit different. Today I want to talk about the process how to create videos like I do. So that could be useful even if you just want to share a little idea with a colleague, or if you want to create some quick tip or something like that. Must not be a tutorial, a video with 20 minutes or so, but I will point only a few things here and there. But if there are any questions, let me know. I will go into it. Well, the first thing, my setup. So which software do I use for recording? So that is, I think, the option everyone uses. It's now I forgot the name. OBS Studio, which stands for Open Broadcaster Studio, and it can do pretty much everything. So you have different scenes, and you can arrange. For example, here I have my window, I have my camera here, and maybe just to be sure. Yeah, and I have different scenes. For example, this is full frontal. Yeah, you cannot see it, but if I click here, then it switches, and I have a whiteboard, which is my second screen, which is in fact a Wacom tablet here. So that's this one, and behind my back. So then what I want to show you is here are some filters. Well, let me show you, first of all, let me show you how it really looks, and then you will maybe be a little bit disappointed because I did not tidy up my room. So filter, set this off. Now you see, this is what the camera sees, right? So this is my desk, here's my mic, here's some books, and here's the green screen behind my back, and yeah, that's about my room where I record. And the camera, you cannot see that, but the camera is a Logitech camera which sits on top of my screen. It's a little bit too high, so it should be a little bit lower, but yeah, what could you do? I'm planning to upgrade this in the future, which with a proper recording setup card, Elgato, whatever, 4K 60 HD streaming card, I don't know. So I will do that. But today is about how can you do something like this as well. So you have your video recording device here, and if you have a green screen like I do, you have to add a filter. In this case, it's the chroma key, and then you can change around the settings that it fits, and you see that it recognizes the screen behind my back and cuts it off. You can see it gets me a little bit dark. Maybe I will increase the brightness, or gamma. Well, I just made this pretty pragmatically, so it just works. But now for scene switching, you could buy such a thing like a Corsair streaming deck. But what I tend to use is just a numpad. So I bought a numpad like this one, and I'm pressing 1, that switches to here, 2 switches to here, 3 switches to another scene, which in fact is the Wacom board here, and 1 gets me back, and 0 is the stop recording button. Now, what I wanted to tell you is a little tip. Maybe you just have one screen like I do, or it's 2 screens with the Wacom board, but I don't have a secondary recording screen because this window should go somewhere where you can see it. Why? Because it's always good to know in which scene you are. It happened to me quite often that I was, for example, in this scene, and I talked about hyperworks and how to do this and how to do that, and I was 20 minutes talking, and then I recognized in the video, oh shit, I had the wrong scene. So I was recording like this, and so the viewer didn't see anything. So that was a pity. But how can you do that? Now, there's a software which I found quite useful here. It's called spacedesk.net, which comes with an Android app. So you install a server here, which leads to the server here. And now you can see that I have an Android device connected here. And now watch this. I switch to the scene where you can see the full front. So this is this. And now I'm dragging, you cannot see that, but I'm dragging the window to my telephone. Oh, that did not work. I'm sorry. No. And here you have it. So you can see, and that's how I use it. So I pick my phone and place it somewhere here. Now I can, with a blink of an eye, can I see, okay, it's the right scene, or should I change back? Or if it's even recording, that's another thing, but you can see the recording icon here. So this is OBS. No, I think I switched off the, and I'm sitting in front of it. But OBS has this symbol down at the bottom, and it has a red indicator if it's recording. So that's another way to see that. All right, I think that's about it for this video. What do I use for example, writing stuff? Well, if you have just, if you just press Windows and I think W, yeah, this gets you, I'm sitting in the way, but you see here whiteboard. And first thing is you have to install it, but the second thing is that it will bring up this whiteboard, and you can see it on my Wacom tablet. It looks like this. And so you can zooming with the mouse wheel, and you can write with your Wacom pen in this case. What type of Wacom board is this? It's a Wacom 13 HD, so 13-inch diagonal. It has no push functionality, so it's an older one, but it works fine. So for that, it's maybe even an overkill, because I'm not that into drawing. I do some photography and stuff in Photoshop, but not to this extent that I would solely buy me a Wacom tablet just for it. But it's quite handy if you want to show something. And yeah, software side, I want to point out a few different tools as well. I have this folder called AHKey macros, and so AHKey stands for auto hotkey. And this is a language, actually. It's a language which can do pretty much. So if you want to dive into this, go ahead. I will certainly recommend it. But let me just point out to you one guy which helped me a lot, which is not Sarasa, but what do we call that? Terran from Linus Tech Tips. Yeah, Terran. And let's see if I get the AH key. Yeah, so those videos are quite a help, but let me give you the short version. So in my folder AHKey macros, I have switched to so-called Lua scripts. So this was the first idea, to use hidden macros, but I'm using Lua macros here. And I have a script called homepc.lua. And if I just quickly open this, yeah, then you can see that if you have, for example, sending button, whatever, you have to check these, then it sends keys like this. Because the problem is, if you just plug in a numpad like this one into your computer, it will do the absolutely completely same thing as your regular numpad, but you don't want that to do. Yeah, you don't want the numpad to function as a secondary device, which does the same thing. It's no use. So what you're doing is you want to get a way where the numpad is recognized as a separate device. And one software which helps here, but it's not a solution, is hid macros. Hid macros, if you're starting this, then you can see here, if I'm pressing a key on my regular keyboard, like this, you can see it's, oh, I shouldn't press that. If it's keyboard 13, and you can see the key number, right? And if I'm hitting a key, and now I have to be careful not to trigger any. If I hit 4, it says keyboard 14. And if you switch over to devices, you see, oh, okay, keyboard 14. It's not there. I am blind, or I cannot. It's here. Well, that's strange. I could swear it was keyboard 16. Ah, okay, it's keyboard 16. Sorry about that. I don't know why it's keyboard 14. Maybe another keyboard is interacting. But okay, so I have keyboard 16. It's here. And now I have this strange address here. And what you are interested in is the number starting with yeah, it's basically this changes. If you unplug it and plug it in back, then this changes. So but you can see it from the length. So it's always starting with this and symbol. And when you see a letter number combination which has 1, 2, 4, 8 characters long, then you're at the right spot. Yeah, so this is the idea of the keyboard, and you have to remember this. And now you go over to Lua macros, and if your Lua script, you can see in this case on my Lua script, it says that if I press, for example, the numpad 1, so 97 is numpad 1, I check that with hit macros, and then I have this command which sends a key, and this is control, the control key, and num1. So I'm actually creating a hotkey for this numpad. So if I'm ever pressing 1 on the secondary numpad, it's actually sending control num1. I could change it to whatever I want to, and this doesn't even have to do something with auto hotkey, but you can use those shortcuts then in your auto hotkey file, or in this case what I did is, and now I need my screen back from OBS, which was on my phone, which you could assign some shortcuts to it. So in this case, hotkeys. So you see that starting the recording is control and 0, and to switch to the scenes, you have the different controls here. So control 2 switches to alt is full screen, and control 1 to full frontal, and stuff like that. You could do whatever in here. So that's that. Yeah. So you have assigned that. But auto hotkey can do much more than this, and I quickly point it out here. So for tutorial videos, I have a folder here, and there I have 2 things which are running. For example, this here shows the mouse clicks and accelerates scrolling, but I'm not really using that. But if I click left, you see it here, right click, middle mouse click. So this is changed, or this is adapted by me. I don't know where this was from, but I'm sure somewhere in the text file it's mentioned. So the original is from here, and you can check the sources, and even you can adapt that for yourself if you want to, because that's all on GitHub. So if you switch over to the GitHub repository, I will post a link in the video description. You can do that, and I would recommend, if you want to do it, then you can check those scripts, how they work for you. And if you have any questions, please let me know. It's far from perfect, right? So this setup is far from perfect. I've printed out some symbols for printing and cutting and gluing onto my numpad, but I haven't come this far. But you can do lots of automating stuff like this, and I would encourage you to do so. If you want to get a little bit better inspired, as I was, head over to Terran from Linus Tech Tips. It's really that got me all started with using auto hotkey, and you can do so much more, which I'm not covering in this video, but maybe in a later session. So thanks for watching. I hope I could be of any help, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.